With our eyes remaining closed as we bring this time in meditation to a close, just join me in receiving a breath together. How good it is to allow for a moment of feeling free. Just for a nanosecond. Welcoming in that thought, welcoming in that freedom, welcoming in the feeling of free. Thank you for taking that time in meditation. Please open your eyes when you're ready. So I always like to start with a little joke, but today it's kind of a riddle. So here it is. So first of all, the name of the talk is The Way, the Truth, and Love. And so this little riddle, and again, I find these on the internet, so nothing new. But here's the riddle. Why did the mirror enroll in a spiritual retreat?
A mirror?
The mirror, yep.
Mirror.
Why did it enroll in a spiritual retreat? Uh-oh, we got a hand up, yes.
For a moment of reflection.
I love that. I love that. You're on the right track there. Yeah, because here it is. Because it was tired of reflecting drama and wanted to reflect truth. Oh, good morning again, everyone. Today, I'd like to explore these three words: the way, the truth, and love. These aren't just lofty little poetic phrases or catchy concepts. They're living and breathing invitations for us. Each one of these words points to a road of healing, awakening, and remembering who we truly are. The journey of the way, the truth, and love is really familiar to all of us, whether we realize it or not. It's not reserved for some or the chosen. It's intertwined in our daily lives, in our relationships, our thoughts, and our choices. I'm always inspired and continue to be inspired by A Course in Miracles, a self-study, non-dualistic teaching that guides us to shift our perceptions or shift our thoughts from fear to love, from illusion to truth. Its message aligns beautifully with one of those unity principles that I love, and that's we create our life experiences through our way of thinking. And although the Course and Unity teachings are a way, they're not the only way. Both teachings, though, remind us that change doesn't happen or begin in the outer world. It happens in the mind, in the thoughts we choose, the perceptions we hold, the things we've been taught, and the love we're willing to extend. So today, I invite you to go on this inward journey with me to explore these three words: the way, the truth, and love. Again, not as lofty, airy-fairy ideals, but as living choices we make in every moment. Let's start with the way. So when I speak of the way, I'm not referring to a physical route or a ritual or a set of rigid steps we have to abide by. The way I'm referring to is what visionary theologian, mystic educator, and civil rights leader Dr. Howard Thurman called in one of his bodies of work, the inward journey, or an inner journey, a process of awakening or remembering the truth of who we really are. It's the path of forgiveness, which many teachings call the key to happiness or the key to forgiveness. It's the path of forgiveness, which many teachings call the key to forgiveness. And forgiveness doesn't mean overlooking harm or pretending like a painful experience didn't happen. It means choosing to see beyond it. It's how we clear that fog, that haze of judgment, and walk forward with clarity, humility, grace, and a sense of freedom. The Course teaches that the way is marked by forgiveness of ourselves and of the illusions we've held on to for so long. These illusions show up in the form of stories of unworthiness, resentment, or separation. Anybody ever have a story like that going on in their lives? Forgiveness is not about condoning what happened now. Remember, it's about releasing those chains of judgment that keep us trapped in fear. When we forgive, we clear the haze from our minds, that fog. We begin to walk the way with purpose and freedom. We remember our shared divine nature, that beneath all appearances, we are one. I mentioned that unity principle that reminds us that we create our life experiences through our way of thinking. Well, when we think with love, we walk the way of peace. In fact, the Course says, and I quote, "Love is the way I walk in gratitude." Doesn't that feel good? Love is the way I walk in gratitude. Now, when we think with fear, we walk the way of conflict. That way is always before us. We must choose it. Now that leads me to truth. Now, truth, according to A Course in Miracles, isn't something we debate or try to shape to meet our desires. Truth is eternal, unchanging, and it's simple. We are love. We are one. And we are whole. How often do we forget that? I like to pose it this way. How often do I remember that? You know, the world distracts us with chaos and division, trying to convince us that we are separate, struggling against each other for survival. Insert any headline, any political figure. We're taught to compete, compare, defend, fight to the end, right? And that noise, that chaos, in that, we lose sight of the truth, that simple truth. We are love. We are one. We are whole. The Course draws a clear distinction between truth and perception. Perception, in the way that I describe it, is wonky. It's unreliable. It's shaped by the ego thought system that's fueled by fear, by past wounds, by future worries. It's the lens through which we see a fragmented world, a separated world, in all its bits and pieces and conflict. But the truth is beyond perception. It's not learned, it's remembered. It's not argued, it's known. The Course says this, and I quote, "Truth is true, and nothing else is true." Now check that out. Truth is true, and nothing else is true. Now that might sound like a big concept. However, it's pretty freeing to me, right up there with that word of the day, free, right? Because of this. If the truth is love, and we're love, and love is all there is, then everything else, fear, guilt, shame, conflict, defending, all of that is illusion. It's really a dream I've mistaken for reality. Now, here's our invitation to simply choose again, to pause, or even stop in the midst of confusion, in the midst of conflict, and ask, is this true? Is this love? If not, we can choose again. We can return to truth, not by force, but by willingness. When we quiet that noise and listen deeply, we hear a different voice, a call, a still, gentle reminder that truth lives within us, waiting to be remembered. It just sits silently waiting. And now we come to the heart of it, love. The love I speak of today is not just an emotion. It's not romantic or sentimental. Kind of hard to put into words. I'm going to try to do it some justice here, but love is the essence of reality itself. It's the creative force that connects all things. It's both the journey and the destination. A Course in Miracles teaches that love is the content that never changes. Imagine that. Love, the content that never changes. Forms change, right? Relationships change, bodies change, and even circumstances. But the content of love remains eternal. Now think about this. When we align with love, we remember our oneness. We remember that fear is but an illusion, and love is the only thing that's real. To live in love is to view everything through a softer lens, through the eyes of compassion. Now, that doesn't mean to be a doormat, but to extend kindness where it might seem undeserved or even a little difficult. As we live in love, we practice embracing the idea that every encounter is a holy encounter. Love, looking at love, that mirror. Tired of the drama, right? Ready to reflect freedom, ready to reflect truth, ready to reflect love. Love, looking at love. Unity's principle, that one that I mentioned earlier, we create our life experiences through our way of thinking. When we think with love, guess what? We create peace. When we think with fear, we create conflict. Listen, love's not passive. It's a choice. We can practice this. It can be our way of being. And every moment offers us the chance to choose love, to choose again. So how do we embody the way, the truth, and the love, all this stuff I'm talking about, right? I offer a simple yet powerful practice. I mentioned it a moment ago. Choose again. Every moment, in every encounter, in every thought, every interaction, we are invited to choose love over fear, truth over illusion, peace over conflict. We're invited to forgive, to listen, to extend, to remember. Taking that pause I talked about, even stopping right in the midst of the thing. Now, this isn't about perfection. It's about that willingness I spoke about. It's about noticing our thoughts when we've fallen into judgment or anxiety, and then gently choosing again. I'll tell a short story. Last night, Albert and I went out, and we went to a beautiful little candlelight concert. It was a lot of fun. We were right in the front of the line. I stepped away to go get us a couple of bottles of water, and there were just 3 people at the counter at the time, and I was second in line, and the third person went ahead of me. I felt some kind of way. And remembering this talk today, I took a moment. How serious was that? I was just getting water, and actually they were getting the same thing. It's kind of funny. But I noticed right away, I wanted to say, I'm next. What? And I thought, wait a minute. We're second in line. There's no rush to go anywhere. The doors weren't even open. All that in real time, I just paused. Actually, I stopped because I had time to watch all this, right? And to notice what I was thinking. And I just stopped and realized it wasn't that serious. I could offer kindness. I could forgive myself for thinking I needed to jump in there and say I was next. It was okay. So when we're noticing our thoughts, when we've noticed that we've fallen into judgment or anxiety, we can gently choose again. This isn't about seeing others as barriers, but really seeing them as mirrors, reflecting opportunities for us to heal and grow. I had an opportunity to see what I was reflecting in that moment, and I got a chance to choose again. Now, you guys know I love interaction, so here's the place. Let's pause here for just a moment. I invite you to close your eyes. Bring someone or something to mind that you've been holding in judgment or fear or even resistance. It could be a person, a situation, or even a belief you've had about yourself or someone else. You know who or what that thing is. Bring it to your mind now. And quietly and gently inquire here. Am I willing to see this differently? Let me be willing to see this differently. I am open to seeing this differently. Inquiring again, am I willing to choose again? Can I be open to choosing a different thought here? Let me be open. Just for this moment, allow a softening. Allow the possibility of peace. Feel it. Allow the way to open. Allow the truth to rise. Allow love to flow. Thank you. You may open your eyes. Thank you for participating in that. Every time we choose love, we take a step on the way. Every time we honor truth, we dissolve illusion. Every time we extend compassion, we become vessels of the love that heals and unites. In closing, let's remember this inward journey together with open hearts, willing minds, and the courage to choose again. The way is before us. It's that inward journey, that inner journey. The truth, it's within us. It's eternal and ever present. And love, it surrounds us. It's the only thing that's real, the content that never changes. So let's keep practicing remembering who we really are. Let's see each other as the light we truly are. Thank you for the privilege of your time.